Ladies and gentlemen, in yet another chapter of the distorted, warped, and always pathetic, yet sometimes or oftentimes apoplectic, morally superior fever dreams of Democrats, in yet another installment of how can we twist and distort the rule of law simply to go after Trump so we can overshadow all the horrendous things that the president's son has done, actually stated within his emails pointing to future impeachment of our current president, because guess what? There were pay-to-play schemes actually written by the words of his son and business associates, where social media wouldn't allow us to talk about, our wonderful current president's son's emails with phrases like, how can you use your influence on behalf of the company? And so you have our beloved President Biden with a financial net worth of, at one point, $200,000, something around that, even less than that, to now over $8 to $9 million. Gee, do you think his returns show how much money he made? How did he make all that money? They say from speaking engagements. Have you heard him speak? Okay, then. And books. Have you read any books? Has he read any books? Has Biden read any books lately? Have you read any books from Biden? No. So they're so utterly corrupt that they had to, and any mention of Hunter is, oh my God, how dare you? Now, the media went from Trump Russia, which was completely fabricated, with quote-unquote circumstantial evidence that was purchased by his direct political rivals. So the Steele dossier was literally purchased by Clinton and the DNC. The high to moderate confidence assessment that Russia tried to infiltrate the DNC and influence the election was completely made up by people like Clapper and Brennan and Comey, who obviously were partisan actors basically working for the Democratic Party. There was no such thing as a nonpartisan intelligence chief. There's no such thing as a nonpartisan apolitical intelligence chief. There never has been. But now you have articles in The Guardian and Vanity Fair and MSNBC, the Trump kids look likely to turn on their dad, and I suspect Ivanka will go first. Why? They had nothing on Trump Russia. The whole thing was fabricated. A former president, this is the BBC, The Guardian, the former president is not an immediate, risk of jail, but his problems are piling up fast, not least the fact that in his family, loyalty means nothing. What? What? What is that even? Why would you say loyalty means nothing? He doesn't have... Look. Let's look at the parenting skills of our beloved President Biden and President Trump. Now, I'm not like anybody, any person can get caught up with the wrong people or succumb to substance abuse, but look at Hunter and look at Ivanka or Jared or Donald Trump Jr. or Eric Trump. Who's the one with substance abuse issues that was kicked out of the military, that lost a firearm outside of a convenience store located about a block away from a school? Who's the one with a chaotic life that media tries to simply sweep under the carpet just because the reality is that he's a walking national security risk and that his emails show that that Biden should be impeached because he lied through his teeth about meeting business associates who wanted influence, who wanted the United States government to go to bat for them, which could be why he forced out a prosecutor. Possibly. But what did Ivanka Trump do wrong? She has a stable marriage. Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Mueller never indicted him on anything. What did these people do wrong? Were they Did they have massive substance abuse issues for the same narcotic that Biden wrote within a legislation, 100 to 1 sentencing disparity, linked to a 100 to 1 sentencing disparity where people that looked like his son didn't go to prison? So his son was that one in the 100 to 1 sentencing disparity. And then Democrats, we have to listen. Oh my God, the pontificating in the sermons. It's like, you hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. The link is below in the pinned comment. I have a segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel on this very topic. But here, nothing in life is certain except rich people jumping through complicated hoops to avoid paying taxes. So, yeah, you can look. They have nothing on Trump. They went from his tax returns show that he worked with Putin to he helped pay for Alan Weisselberg's grandchildren's tuition. On Thursday, the Trump Organization and its chief financial officer, Alan Weisselberg, were charged with a sweeping and audacious illegal payment scheme of tax-related crimes. He was giving perks that at worst Weisselberg owes back taxes. This isn't some kind of criminal empire. You found nothing on Trump, so you had to ruin the lives of everyone around him. If you want to go and talk about 500 conflicts of interest, the Clinton Foundation, one of the people who worked there, actually wrote about that in an email, in the campaign emails. You want to talk about all the taxes that Hunter and his father didn't pay? From all the money, 10% to the big man? You think that our beloved president reported the 10% income he got from his son? Possibly and potentially? But there's no investigative journalism there. What happened to the $10 billion, almost $10 billion raised for the people of Haiti? They only got less than 3%. I interviewed a wonderful Haitian-born journalist in the Huffington Post. It was published. And so, in an interview, less than 3% of the money raised for the people of Haiti. Anybody want to investigate that? Private servers? How did the top secret intelligence get on them? Oh, but we can't talk about that. We certainly can't talk about the wonderful Hunter and his, compromised emails that could be the work of Russia, which, by the way, the person who owned the computer store actually has the documentation. We have business associates already last year that came out and said, yeah, he was involved in a whole bunch of business schemes, and the current president was a part of all of that. So there's just mounds of details about company perks, such as payment of school fees and rent. Oh my God. So wait until the Trumps start turning on each other. It could be any day. Why would they turn on each other? They have endless wealth. They know that New York prosecutors are only going after them out of vengeance and this distorted attempt at retribution. It has nothing to do with the rule of law. These are lifelong Democrats that are purely politically motivated. It actually is an affront, an assault on the rule of law. Vanity Fair, Ivanka Trump is probably the next on the chopping block. Former federal. For what? Experts say. They live their lives based on experts say, and then the experts are wrong about Trump, Russia, about Zelensky. President Zelensky himself stated there was no, he never got pressured. The president of Ukraine himself stated that he was never pressured by Trump. But here, experts say the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is likely looking into consulting fees paid to Ivanka, despite her having been a full-time employee of the Trump Organization. Are you kidding me? You have AOC, who Hans A. von Spakovsky, a former FEC chairman, has stated because money was going from her campaign from her political action committee into LLCs and corporations. Those are major campaign finance violations. You think AOC and everyone associated, even some possible YouTubers, are going to be investigated by the FEC or by New York prosecutors? You think New York prosecutors are going to go after the wonderful AOC, the brilliant mind of our generation? You think that they're going to go after the money the hundreds of thousands flowing from a political action committee into LLCs and corporations, which is numerous laws being broken, a tremendous violation of laws? No. Probably, almost certainly not. So this is like red meat for the Democratic base. Oh my God. Any day now. Ivanka's going to flip. Hunter would, if they ever turned the screws and ever treated Hunter in the same way they treat Trump, guess who you think would, or Ivanka, or believe me, the current president's son would flip a lot sooner. Because there's more to talk about. There are more crimes. How do you think he obtained all the narcotics? Through legal means? And you have videos, you have photos, incriminating data, incriminating emails, and that's just with the current president's son. We're not even getting into Clinton's servers with top secret intelligence. We're not even getting into Eric Swalwell, who very likely had a romantic relationship with a foreign operative. We're not even getting into Dianne Feinstein selling stock right after a classified briefing. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Democrats have taken the rule of law and shoved it so far down the toilet. It's like they've taken the rule of law and stored it within Anthony Weiner's computer. So you pretty much know what's going to happen with the rule of law. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. And be here, by the way, every 2 p.m., 3 p.m. for the live streams. Thank